From this beautiful tower, a small Portuguese nation spread their language around the globe to become the most spoken language in the southern hemisphere and one of the top 10 most spoken languages in Africa. Isn't that amazing? This is Lisbon, Portugal, where I've discovered incredible stories and found stunning things to do that I want to share with you.
Our exploration of Lisbon begins on the banks of the Tagus River in the Belém neighborhood. Here, the river flows straight into the Atlantic Ocean. Close to the ocean, yet sheltered from its winds, Belém was full of shipyards and docks in the Middle Ages. These shipyards were the birthplace of a revolutionary sailing ship known as the Caravel. Thanks to its lightweight design and rounded bottom, the Caravel was small yet highly maneuverable, perfect for shallow coastal explorations, yet capable of long oceanic voyages. From these docks, Caravel set sail to explore unknown seas and lands to forever change the map of the world during the Age of Discoveries.
Revolutionary ship is portrayed on this impressive monument along with the most important Portuguese explorers. From these docks, Bartolomeu Dias sailed around the southernmost tip of Africa in 1488, the first to do so. A decade later, Vasco da Gama sailed from here to India, another first to do so, and Ferdinand Magellan completed the first circuit of the globe.
Thanks to the Belém neighborhood, Lisbon became a major hub for global exploration. Through successful overseas expeditions and the establishment of trade routes to Africa, India and the Americas, Lisbon rose to prominence as the capital of a vast global empire, reaping untold riches along the way.
The wealth generated from these ventures was used for construction of beautiful, grandiose architecture around Lisbon. One of the most iconic buildings of that era is the stunning Belem Tower.
As mentioned, the tower was used for the embarkation and disembarkation of Portuguese explorers. Now it's part of UNESCO World Heritage and an iconic landmark of Lisbon. You can explore the tower's ground floor, which features 16 windows with cannons mounted to fire on enemy ships. Downstairs there are prison cells, and above the cannon room is a large terrace offering beautiful views. To the east, you can observe the fresh river water flowing from Portugal, while to the west, you can see the salt water coming in from the ocean. You can also climb the tower's 4 floors, but unfortunately, the roof was closed at the time of my visit.
Although there isn't much else to see inside the tower, it remains a very popular attraction. To avoid queues, be sure to buy tickets beforehand. I'll provide links in the description below.
Grandiose buildings, constructed during the Age of Discoveries, reflected Portugal's wealth and power and were decorated with maritime elements and symbols.
One of the era's greatest masterpieces and another UNESCO World Heritage Site is the Royal Monastery of Santa Maria de Belém, also known as Jerónimos Monastery.
The wealth generated from the spice trade with Africa and India enabled King Manuel to begin building the monastery in 1501. It was constructed to commemorate Vasco da Gama's successful voyage to India in 1498. According to legend, the famous explorer and his crew spent their last night in prayer at the site where the monastery was built before embarking on the historic journey. Construction took about 100 years, but the end result is stunning, as this is one of the most visited places in Lisbon. Be sure to buy tickets online and well in advance. However, even with the time slots, you will still have to wait in line for your turn, which can be a bit confusing and time-consuming. I booked the first morning time slot and arrived at the entrance about 30 minutes before opening, and it worked well. You can also book a guided tour using the link below, as organized groups get in much faster. The monastery church has a separate entrance right next door, so after visiting the monastery, you'll have to wait in another line. On the other hand, the church doesn't require a ticket and is free. Its rather gloomy and dark interior features an intricate ribbed vault and a high nave that create an impressive and awe-inspiring space. The church also houses the tomb of Vasco da Gama. But in 1834, all convents and monasteries in Portugal were shut down, and monks from Jerónimos Monastery sought ways to make money. Just across the street, they began baking and selling a sweet egg custard tart pastry using an ancient secret monastery recipe.
These sweets quickly became known as Pastéis de Belém, and the bakery took its name from the pastry. The recipe has remained unchanged and is passed exclusively to master confectioners who handcraft the pastries in a special, secret room using traditional methods.
The bakery is very popular and often crowded, but once you taste the original Pastéis de Belém, you'll understand why it has gained such fame. It seems the monks made a great career change as the bakery sells over 20,000 pastilles a day. The shop offers both takeout and sit-in services. If you sit down, you'll get a fresh, still warm from the oven tart that goes great with a bica, a strong espresso coffee. In the very heart of the wealthy and powerful Lisbon once stood a massive royal palace. However, the great earthquake of 1755, followed by a tsunami and a fire, destroyed most of Lisbon, including the royal palace. It was never rebuilt, and in its place, Lisbon gained the largest square in Portugal. This square opens towards the river and was designed as the main entrance to the city for visitors arriving by sea. Symmetrical yellow buildings line the square on three sides, featuring galleries on the ground floors that end with towers as a reminder of the destroyed royal palace.
The square was named the Square of Commerce to indicate its new function in Lisbon's economy. It became the seat of some of the most important Portuguese institutions, housing government offices related to trade, customs and finance, reflecting Lisbon's role as a major port city.
This bustling public square is a popular tourist destination, hosting cultural events, concerts and festivals throughout the year, and is surrounded by restaurants, shops and cafes. At the center of the square stands a statue of King José I. On the northern side, the government building is split in two by a triumphal arch with sculpted figures that serves as a grand entrance to one of Lisbon's most central and vibrant neighborhoods, Baixa.
But instead of medieval winding street, Baixa has completely straight street lined with uniform buildings, which is quite unusual for an old European city. This is due to the devastating earthquake of 1755, as the neighborhood had to be completely rebuilt.
The reconstruction was led by the Prime Minister of Portugal, Marquis of Pombal, who implemented a revolutionary urban planning approach. His vision for Baixa included wide, straight street laid out in grid pattern, modern sewage systems and earthquake-resistant buildings with simple facades, large windows and wrought iron balconies. This innovative urban planning was groundbreaking for its time and set the standard for urban development in Europe. The main artery of Baixa is its bustling pedestrian street, Rua Augusta. It starts at the Triumphal Arch at Commerce Square and ends at the popular Rossio Square, known for its distinctive wave pattern cobblestone pavement and two Baroque fountains. The square and its surrounding streets are packed with some of the city's most famous shops, restaurants and cafes. Part of the neighborhood is also the historic cast iron elevator Santa Justa, built in 1902.
The lift was constructed to address the steep elevation difference between the Baixa neighborhood and the Barrio Alto district. After it was built, it made life in hilly Lisbon much easier.
It's built in the same style as the renowned Eiffel Tower in Paris, with intricate ironwork, ornate details and elegant arches. The lift is 45 meters or 148 feet tall and consists of two elevator cars that travel up and down the structure. At the top of the lift, there is an observation deck offering great panoramic views of Baixa neighborhood. The lift is integrated into Lisbon's public transport network and can be used with the same ticket as underground, trams and buses. But one of Lisbon's most popular tourist attractions is its iconic historic fortress perched on a hill overlooking the city. It dates back to the 2nd century BC, when the Romans built a stronghold here. After the fall of the Roman Empire, the Visigoths took control of the area in the 5th century. In the 8th century, with the Muslim conquest of the Iberian Peninsula, the Moors took control of Lisbon and constructed the castle that forms the foundation of today's structure. It served as a royal Moorish residence until Portugal's first king, Afonso, captured it in 1147.
Following its capture, the castle was dedicated to St. George, the patron saint of knights and crusaders, symbolizing the Christian reconquest of the land. The castle was transformed into a royal palace and became the primary residence of the Portuguese kings.
However, in the early 1500s, with the construction of the Ribeira Palace by the river, the royal court moved to the city center and the castle fell into despair. It was first used as a military barracks and later as prison, but the devastating earthquake of 1755 further damaged the structure. Today, visitors can climb the towers and walk along the ramparts for breathtaking views of Lisbon. The castle houses a museum with artifacts from its long history and hosts cultural events and exhibitions. Under the castle spreads Lisbon's oldest neighborhood, Alfama. Its origins date back to the time of the Moors, who left a lasting legacy on Alfama's architecture. The neighborhood survived the devastating earthquake of 1755 relatively intact due to its solid foundation on the bedrock. This allowed it to retain its medieval layout and charm, with a maze of narrow streets and alleys designed to provide shade and protection from the sun. Here you can admire traditional Portuguese houses adorned with typical ceramic tiles, azulejos, and wrought iron balconies. Part of the neighborhood is also one of the most charming viewpoints of Lisbon, called Miradouro de Santa Luzia, after the nearby church. This popular viewpoint is adorned with beautiful garden, a pergola, and azulejo ceramic tiles, which depict scenes from Lisbon's history. From here, you'll get great views over the historic district of Alfama and the river. Just down the street from the viewpoint is Lisbon's Cathedral, the oldest and most significant church in the city. It was constructed shortly after Lisbon was recaptured from the Moors by King Afonso I.
The cathedral's location may not seem very impressive, but it was built exactly on the spot of the old mosque, symbolizing the Christian reconquest and the establishment of a new Christian order.
Despite its twin towers and a rose window, the church resembles a fortress. It was built in the Romanesque style and has thick walls, round arches, and sturdy pillars. The cathedral witnessed many significant events, including royal weddings, baptisms, and funerals. Over the centuries, it underwent several modifications and expansions, showcasing a blend of architectural styles. The first major earthquake to damage the cathedral occurred in 1344, leading to significant repairs and modifications in the Gothic style. After the catastrophic earthquake of 1755, the cathedral incorporated elements of the Baroque style. Entrance requires a small fee, and the tickets can also be purchased online. Right in front of the cathedral passes one of Lisbon's most beloved attractions, the classic Lisbon Tram number 28. This tram has become a major tourist draw due to its historic significance, charming old-fashioned appearance, and the scenic journey it provides. Tram 28 was specifically designed to navigate the narrow winding street of Lisbon's historic, picturesque neighborhoods, passing by several key landmarks. Introduced in 1936 as part of the city's extensive tram network, these classic yellow trams still retain their original 1930s features, although most of the exterior is now covered with ads.
However, its popularity has led issues of overcrowding and pickpocketing, especially during peak tourist seasons. The tram runs approximately every 10 to 15 minutes, and you should take a ride early in the morning or late in the evening to avoid crowds.
Lisbon's historical connection to the ocean is also reflected in one of its most popular modern attractions, the Lisbon Oceanarium, the largest indoor aquarium in Europe. Located in the modern part of Lisbon along the river, its innovative design creates the illusion that the building floats on the water. Aquarium was opened as part of the Expo 98 World's Fair, which celebrated the 500th anniversary of Vasco da Gama's discovery of the sea route to India. At its centerpiece is a massive central tank designed to resemble the open ocean, housing a diverse range of marine species, including sharks, rays, and barracudas. Lisbon and its surroundings have many more stunning places and fascinating stories worth exploring. One of them is a town of Sintra, with a fairy tale-like and colorful palace, the most popular day trip from Lisbon, available in the description below, along with my other favorite Lisbon suggestions and experiences. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. My name is Rock, thanks for the thumbs up and for watching, and see you next time.